Madden NFL 18 was meant to be a turning point for the series. For the first time ever, there was a full story mode included in Madden, known as Longshot, and this was the first title in the series to make the jump to Frostbite, EA's latest engine at the time, meant to significantly improve the graphics and visuals of Madden. And it was a turning point indeed. I consider the next title, Madden NFL 19, to be the worst in the series' history. 18 was a better game than 19, but the move to Frostbite and the direction Madden 18 was taking led Madden to a point that it hasn't recovered from since. While you can stem back most of what caused Madden to decline from Madden 13 or even Madden 06, Madden 18 was the final nail in the coffin. This is the story of the game that caused Madden to fall off for good. Madden games have not been good in a long time. On the PlayStation 2, Madden games not only had over 70 features that used to be in the game and have been absent for a decade, but these games also had competition, forcing EA to put more resources and effort into their games to maintain their spot in the market. After EA got the exclusive NFL simulation rights, they haven't had any competition, and their games have slowly gotten worse. Madden 18 is a great example of EA marketing up a poor product. The move to Frostbite was considered a huge change by the media and EA's own marketing. Frostbite was actually marketed as a graphics engine, not a physics engine at the time. DICE, a development team inside of EA, created Frostbite 1, and it was originally designed for first-person shooters like Battlefield. Developers of other EA games have come out and said the engine was incredibly difficult to work with. The version EA was using for sports games was technically Frostbite 3, renamed to simply Frostbite, and the results have been horrific. Of course, with Madden 18, as we'll get into, it wasn't very noticeable yet, but as time has gone on, the Frostbite engine has clearly become the downfall of Madden's gameplay. FIFA was already running on the new engine, along with most of EA's non-sports games. The Ignite engine was a solid engine with physics and animations blending together to create something similar to real football, but it had limitations. It could get messy and ragdoll-like. It didn't allow for dynamic weather. Facial animations weren't as good. The lighting was starting to look aged, and the overall gameplay still wasn't as good as older football games like All-Pro Football 2K8. To put it short, players were ready for change. Madden simply hadn't been good enough since acquiring the exclusive Simulation NFL license back in 2005. At the time, many theorized that the move from Ignite to Frostbite would lead to dynamic weather, a change in physics, and improved facial animations to show better emotions on the players. The latter is why EA created Longshot for Madden 18, as a way to justify how improved facial animations makes any sense in a football game that sorely needed help in more important categories. Unfortunately, dynamic weather has not yet appeared in Madden. The Frostbite engine allowed for this, however. Weather could change from rain to cloudy to clear all throughout a match, or go from no snow to snow halfway through. The technology is there. Instead, EA has simply used the engine to create dynamic lighting, so games get darker as they go on and the lights come on, but they have never implemented the dynamic weather option so many publications and players theorized about once the move to Frostbite was announced. Madden 24 was the 7th Madden released on Frostbite, and it also did not have dynamic weather. The physics did change with Frostbite, but not by much at first. Madden 18 feels more like Madden 17 than Madden 19, and by a lot. It feels like Madden 17 ported into a new graphics engine because that's basically what it is, but with the same physics of the Ignite engine. I don't think Madden fully transitioned to Frostbite until Madden 19, when physics disappeared completely in the game only for a select number of animations to determine the outcome of plays. This is why I can't call Madden 18 the worst Madden ever, as it does still have decent physics and better looking animations than what would follow it. The move to Frostbite, which EA claimed would unlock major visual advancements and new gameplay experiences that will excite dedicated Madden players, football fans, and sports fans overall, ended up ruining gameplay in the series, as future Madden titles such as 19 would become so heavily animation-based to the point where user skill barely factored in. And even the latest Madden has gameplay bugs and visual glitches stemming from the move to this engine. Then there was Longshot. EA marketed this as the next big thing, and the first time they had ever added a fully featured interactive story mode to the game. Maybe that would cause players to forget about the 80 or so features at the time missing from the game but present in PS2 Maddens. I made an entire video going over every single missing feature, so check that out if you haven't. But hey, EA was adding something new for once. This got people excited. A new engine and a new story mode. Madden 18 seemed like the Madden to buy. Everything was changing. The issue with Madden 18 is that it shows exactly where EA's head is at when it comes to decision making. Instead of fixing core issues with the game, they went with graphics. Let's make the game as pretty as possible, even if it might make development more difficult or cause gameplay physics to regress, and introduce a new game mode that only exists to show you how pretty the game now is, and call it a day. Unfortunately, video games require more than just graphics to be worth playing. Longshot was terrible, and despite that, it's still better than any career mode that followed it. Face of the franchise in recent years has been embarrassingly bad, and Longshot was, at the very least, presentable. But it was really just a generic movie with fake interactions. At the time, reviewers praised it, calling it a Telltale-style adventure. What they missed was that unlike in Telltale games, none of your decisions mattered. You take over Devin Wade, a star football player wanting to make it to the NFL, but he quits his college team after his father dies. It's a pretty heavy concept, but it's filled with annoying cliches and cringy side characters. It'll often prompt you to select a dialogue option or make a seemingly important decision, only for the story to move in the same direction regardless. This still plagues Madden career modes to this day. There is the illusion of options and control, but really, you're just watching a cheesy animated film that only exists to justify the move to Frostbite. What blows my mind is not only how this mode was praised by critics at the time, but also how it was framed by them. In IGN's review of Madden 18, they said the older career mode, Madden Superstar mode from the PS2 and PS3 era, was a waste of space, and thankfully, Madden 13 removed it. What? IGN was thankful to be without a career mode for 4 years because Longshot made it all worth it? Being able to play with any position on the field and go through an entire NFL career, take on movie roles, go to the barbershop, all of that, it was a waste of space. But a poorly made collection of cutscenes with gameplay awkwardly thrown in was worthy of giving Madden 18 an 8.6 out of 10. What really fueled me back in the Madden 19 and 20 era was these reviews. Very few people with a platform were rightfully criticizing these games, at least from what I came across, so I wanted to change that with my channel. Longshot is the perfect example of how EA treats the exclusive Sim NFL game. Style over substance. Make it look pretty enough so that reviewers and people who don't follow the game much are impressed at first, and hide the fact that the game lacks substance, depth, or any character until closer inspection. This was during the dark era of Madden's franchise mode. After Madden 12, EA decided to start over with Madden 13 and took all of the fun features out of the mode. No more create a team, no more Pro Bowl, no more coaching staffs, and no more team exporting. A whole lot more was removed as well. From Madden 13 to 20, franchise mode basically didn't change at all, despite having less depth than Madden 12 or even Madden 04. While Madden 24 doesn't exactly have a good franchise mode, EA has at least added back some features over the recent years to improve it, such as yearly recaps, the team column under player stats by year, and coaching staffs. It's sad that those additions are the only ones of note. How lame. Madden 18's franchise mode had some of the smallest additions you'll ever see, if you can even call them additions. They added sim, competitive, and arcade gameplay settings, which are EA's attempt to please every type of player, but the end result is gameplay that can't decide what it wants to be and heavily leans towards the competitive side. Somehow, this was marketed as a new feature for franchise mode, despite being more of a gameplay feature. I always found arcade to be too easy and annoying to play. Injuries and fatigue are turned off. It just feels like playing on Rookie. Why would anyone play a franchise on arcade? I have no idea. I need injuries to play franchise, otherwise what's the point of having a 53-man roster? Competitive is what EA uses for Ultimate Team and online head-to-head. It's more about user skill, stick timing, and ball hawking. It's fine for online matches, but this change has really turned Madden into an esports game rather than a true NFL simulation, despite, once again, EA holding the exclusive simulation NFL rights hostage. Simulation mode is basically how Madden always was. Injuries are on, fatigue is on, and there are some random elements to make games more unpredictable and less about users' skill. I don't see why anyone would play franchise mode with any other setting unless it's a hyper-competitive 32-man league, so calling this a new franchise mode feature seems misleading. Franchise mode was basically untouched from 17 beyond that and some tweaks to the menu style. The frustration amongst sim players who grew up on the PS2 games or older must have been insane back then. IGN was giving the game close to a 9 out of 10, while the game was missing over 80 features missing from previous Maddens. Games like NBA 2K18, considered the worst NBA 2K ever, blew Madden away when it came to franchise mode. Yet until I started my channel, it really felt like no one with a platform was talking about it at the time. 2K was getting more hate than Madden back then, despite outclassing EA in almost every single area, just because of the VC situation. Beyond Ultimate Team, there wasn't anything else to do in the game. You had Play Now, Practice, Franchise, MUT, and Longshot. The game was pretty bare bones, which was insane compared to any Madden from before 13. My biggest issue with Madden's gameplay overall, not just with 18, is that EA doesn't seem to have an idea of what they want to do with it. Do they want to make a simulation game like they hold the exclusive rights to, or a competitive online game? For now, they are trying to do both, but they are heavily leaning towards the competitive side. Do they want gameplay speed to be slow or fast? Is running or passing the meta? Is zone defense or man defense the meta? It seems like every year, EA makes gameplay speed faster or slower, or they switch up the meta, just to make the game feel more different than the previous year. We aren't actually heading towards more realistic or refined gameplay. It's just changing for the sake of change. It's like when Fortnite gets a patch with different weapons. The meta changes, but it's still the same game. I want to give a shout out to Sim Football Fanatics, aka Eldest the Great. He's pretty high on Madden NFL 18's gameplay, and when you change the game speed to very slow and change the speed threshold to 100, you do get a better playing experience on the field. If that's too slow for you, you could set gameplay speed to just slow and the threshold to 0 instead. The change in speed threshold creates a greater disparity between slow and fast players, so you won't see 300-pound defensive tackles chasing you down from behind like you would on the default settings. He also has some videos going over animations and physics in Madden 18, which are worth checking out. Madden 18 is a mix between Madden 19 and Madden 17. A lot of the Ignite engine physics and animations were carried over, but a lot of the new Frostbite animations were added as well, creating a decent mix between physics and animations. Madden 19 went all in on animations, so 18 is much better to play in my opinion, but it still has awkward running animations, some ugly warping and shifting, and other issues like low ball trajectory, superhuman linebackers, horrible CPU intelligence, etc. But I won't lie, some of these clips do look pretty good. The issue is that EA didn't build on the good parts of Madden 18. If anything, Madden 24 looks even more unnatural. Instead of building and improving the gameplay every year, EA just tweaks it to make it different, once again only for the sake of change rather than for true progress. Eldest says that Madden 25 has the best gameplay in the series, with Madden 18 coming in second. Check out his channel if you want to see more, as he is one of the few people I've seen actually dive deep into the gameplay of more recent Madden titles from a sim perspective. He's even given Madden 19 a second chance with some slider tweaks, which almost feels illegal. I personally find the gameplay to be annoying, but with those slider changes, it is better. There are definitely some good looking moments, but whenever I see one of those early Frostbite animations, it just pisses me off. I just get reminded of seeing the same animation 100 times in a row on Madden 19. All Pro Football 2K8 runs laps around any Madden ever in my opinion, and my opinion's not going to change until EA surpasses that game, and 18 is no exception. A new feature added to gameplay in 18 was target passing, but this was more of a gimmick than anything else. You could basically use your stick to aim where the ball is thrown with more control, but it was just hard to use, and I don't remember anyone actually using it more than once or twice just to try it out. It was a worse version of the hated vision cone from Madden 06 on the PS2, yet player accuracy ratings didn't seem to have any effect on it at all, making it pointless for sim players. Overall, Madden 18 felt like an improved, more refined Madden 17 on the field, and while it's better than Madden 19, it still needs some tweaks to play at its best, and even then it leaves a lot to be desired. The move to Frostbite didn't seem so bad at first, but as time has gone on, Frostbite has turned gameplay into animation roulette in future titles. You can thank Madden 18 for that. The main benefit to come from switching to the Frostbite engine was vastly improved graphics. Madden 18, in my opinion, is the best looking Madden of all time, at least graphically. Madden 19 took a darker approach to visuals, and then Madden 20 brightened them up again, but neither looks as good as Madden 18. Newer Maddens have a more flat, modern look, while 18 has a more authentic vibe. The lighting, jersey materials, stadiums, and grass all look great. Player models could use some work, and the jersey numbers didn't look right, but the lighting is fantastic, and it's not like player models have really improved much since then. It's similar to NBA 2K14, a game I just made a video on, and considering Madden 18 runs in 4K HDR just like the latest titles, it kind of looks more next-gen than Madden 24 on PS5. What do you guys think? The main menu presentation is decent compared to what we have now as well. The intro shows Tom Brady with no annoying music, just audio clips of John Madden talking about Brady with some crowd noise, which is a nice nostalgic touch. The actual main menu is just a bunch of squares, but at least the opening is decent. The menu navigation in 18 is actually fast and responsive, unlike in Madden 24. It's so strange that we are now at a point where games like this can be praised for something so simple. I never would have thought that would be worth mentioning. But Madden 24 is so tedious to navigate through, thanks to the years of slapping legacy code and the Frostbite engine on top of each other. Compared to a game like ESPN NFL 2K5, Madden 18's in-game presentation is terrible, but compared to Madden 24, it's pretty good. Isn't that weird? The scoreboard was the same one we had from 17 to 19, and Charles Davis and Brandon Gaudin are the announcers, but the camera angles, replays, pre-game presentation, and stat pop-ups are much more authentic to a real NFL broadcast than what we see in Madden 24. I didn't like it at the time, but somehow presentation has only gotten worse since Madden 18. Madden NFL 18 wasn't that bad alone upon first impressions, but that's the issue. This game is style over substance, like every Madden that has come out since. The introduction of the Frostbite engine did make the game prettier, but at a cost that I don't think was worth it. Financially speaking, however, it was well worth it. EA gets to save money by reusing the same engine for every single game they make, and all of their games sell well because they don't have much competition. From a business standpoint, that's a win, but when EA holds the exclusive simulation NFL rights hostage, it can create anger and resentment from their player base, which at some point has to affect EA. I hope that point comes soon. The move to Frostbite was good for visuals and lighting back in 2017, but it's 2024 now. I can create a game with lighting just as good as Madden 24's by importing some assets into Unreal Engine 5. It might even look better. The visuals of Madden from the Frostbite engine are no longer impressive, and now gameplay and even something as simple as menu navigation is worse than ever before because of it. Madden NFL 18 is when Madden fell off for good. The game pushed esports and graphics over depth or substance, and the result is a lifeless game that somehow feels more alive than Madden 24. Huh? That's how bad things have gotten thanks to the move to Frostbite and Madden's lack of competition. The only NFL game is going to sell no matter how bad it is because it is the only NFL game. Besides a complete rebuild from the ground up, there is no hope for this series. And you can thank Madden 06, Madden 13, and Madden 18 specifically for that. Thanks for watching.